Hello everyone! In this week's devlog, we'll take a more in-depth look on the new server client system, a couple of new map editor features, as well as our concept for base building. If you stay until the end, there will also be a show reel of all the new 3D assets that Kevin has put together since last week. My name is Simon, and I'm the game director here at Far North Entertainment. Welcome to devlog number 9, Chunks of Glory. First out in today's devlog is the massive overhaul of our entire server client network structure. This new system solves a number of issues. First of all, players may now connect to the server at any time and still receive a correct representation of the game world from the server. No initial lobby is required. Secondly, the whole map is no longer loaded at all times. Similar to games like Minecraft, the server identifies what chunks of the world have nearby players and loads only these chunks. This means that the size of the world is no longer affects the performance of the game. Already on a small map of only 25 chunks, performance is increased substantially, since clients have only 9 chunks loaded at any given time. And thirdly, the world is now stored entirely on the server. Previously, we loaded the map from a map file on both the server and all clients, which meant that all players needed the exact same map file for the game to work. The server-side world has a couple of major benefits. The first one being that if the host makes a custom map in the map editor or downloads one from the net, he can start a server using the custom map and his friends do not need to have the same map before joining the server. And in the future, if we make changes to the main map of the game in a patch or update, this will not cause any corruption to the save files. The map editor has also gotten some new stuff. Brushes have been implemented, which allows for painting the ground terrain. Previously, we had to paint an image file in Photoshop and import it to the editor, which then converted the image into ground tiles. And there is also a second mode of the brush tool, the danger level heat map brush, which is a completely new feature to the game in general. Different areas of the final map will vary in how dangerous they are, and we needed a flexible, intuitive and reliable tool to control this danger level. The solution to this problem was to give every tile of the map a danger value, which determines how many zombies to spawn when the tile is loaded on the server. And the heat map brush is used to paint the world with these danger values. Red areas will spawn a lot of zombies, and the green areas will spawn none. Okay, so let's have a look at the prototype of the base that Kevin has built. And as you can see here, there are a lot of new assets that will all be showcased in the later show reel, so stay tuned for that. The first thing we see that there are a lot of new wall meshes and a lot of machines and stuff going on here. So what's the idea of this base? Kevin has introduced this base in order to show what an actual base in the game could look like. So for example, here in the beginning we have 2 crusher machines. And the idea with these crusher machines is that they will take loot that you find. So for example, you find a car tire or something like that, and then you put it into the crusher and it will create rubber and steel out of that car tire. And then these are storage units. So here you will save all of the materials that you get out of these crushers. Going up here we have the different workbenches and also some storage units for materials I believe to be related to these working benches. So here we have the weapon workbench, the weapon modifications workbench, and also the workbench in which you put the weapons and the different modifications together. And modifications can be suppressors, it can be magazines, it can be stocks, it can be red dot sights, you know, stuff like that. So this is obviously the crafting room of the base. In here we have the research room. And research is a mechanic that I will go through more closely in next week's devlog. But basically, when you start the game, you don't have all of the crafting receipts and you can't build all of the weapons and machines and stuff that you want. You have to first research them. And you do this by using one of these research computers in conjunction with all of these processing units here. So these processing units give power to the research computer so that it can research new technology faster. And of course in these storage units you will store the different floppy disks that you use to extract research data. And in order to power this research system, we have in here the power supply unit and also the generators. So what you see here are the batteries of the power station. And basically the team of players will have a budget of energy that they can use when they use the different machines and also to pay for the researching. And these battery units basically increase the max capacity that you can store in terms of energy. Here we have the fuel generators, in which you will put different kind of materials and they will start producing energy that are stored in the batteries, and as I said earlier, you can use for different means. Out here in the outside we also have a little more simple fence in order to allow the wind to blow on these wind generators. So there are some renewable energy going on out here, and if you really need extra power, you can also put some fuel into the fuel generators. And so this is two of the major mechanics that we will talk more about in next week's devlog that are almost implemented at this stage. It is the energy system for producing energy for your base, and the different means in which you consume energy, namely crafting and researching stuff. And that's the base tour. Over 30 new assets have been created during the last week, but before we start the show reel, I must urge you to press that subscribe button. Sign up to our mailing list and join our Discord if you want to know more about the game. Links are found in the description. Thank you for watching, see you next week. Okay, so let's check the new assets out. Note that they are not yet textured, so what you see here is merely the geometry and flat colors on the geometry.